Hello all you beautiful people. Today I'm going to be doing my first ever art tutorial, and it's this simple sketch of a girl in my style. It's really easy to do. I'm using a page out of my sketchbook, but you could use some printer paper and a pencil out of a school bag or a pen if you wanted to. So let's get started. Like any other art tutorial on how to draw a face, you're going to want to start with a circle. Mine's very sketchy because I'm trying to get a good shape for the face. You could do it one solid circle or a bunch of different circles if you wanted to. Next, you're going to want to go in and add a triangle for the chin. It's a little self-explanatory. You can go in and make the lines darker and more sure, like not as sketchy or shaky, and clean it up a little bit if you want to make it look a little bit less like a weird lemon. Like I'm doing here, I'm taking an eraser and I'm cleaning up the lines a little bit just to make it look more like a human head than fruit. Next, we're going to draw that plus sign in the middle of the face. The line that goes straight up is dividing it into two symmetrical halves, and then that other line is right about where the middle of the eye is. Then you're going to go in and draw circles where you want the eyeball to be. It's not actually going to be the eyeball, it's just a placeholder. Next up, we're going to go in and give them their eyelids. You can see me adjusting a couple things here because going into this sketch, I didn't really know what exactly I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to draw a girl, and I didn't want to do it in a 3/4 view, but I'm just making things up as I go. For this sketch, I don't have a planned out picture for this one, like I do with most of my pieces. Once you're happy with the eyelid placement, we're going to move on to cleaning up the lines. Then we're going to do eyelashes. My eyelashes basically consist of making a thicker, more pointed line on the top eyelash and add a couple of strands and stuff to indicate clumps of eyelashes, because drawing individual eyelashes I find tend to make things look very weird, and not in like a good weird way, and just like a you don't know what you're doing weird kind of way. And I add a couple strands at the bottom just to indicate that they don't have a completely bald bottom eyelid. Sorry, my camera's adjusting. I had to do this on my phone and it's not the best at taking videos. Next up, we're going to draw the nose, which for this one is just a really simple, it's an upside down, it's a triangle, it's not upside down, with some little lines at the bottom to indicate nostrils, or like the sides of your nose, and then a couple of curved lines at the top to show where the bridge of your nose is. I almost made it more detailed, but then I decided that I didn't feel like doing that today. Next up, for the mouth, we're going to draw a little frowny face looking thing and then extend the sides to make it smiling. And then we're going to add the lips on the top and the bottom. Mine are kind of thin, but you can make them thicker if you so desire. Juicy lips if you want to. After this, I spent some time cleaning up my sketch, making the face shape more human, less doll looking, because right now it looks like one of those Monster High dolls that everybody had back when I was a kid. You know the ones I'm talking about. I added the rest of the upper eyelid, like where your eyelid kind of goes back into your eye socket to make that shape that you put eyeshadow on. Then I added some pupils, made a couple changes to the nose to see if I liked it. I did not like it, and just ended up sticking with the nose. Now we're gonna do the hair. So hair is individual strands, but if you're drawing in a simplified style, you're gonna want it to be in general clumps of hair, so you get the basic hairstyle. I started with bangs because I didn't feel like drawing eyebrows or a forehead. I did some side bangs. I went back and messed with the mouth a little bit more to make her seem happier. She seemed a little too serious before, and I draw enough serious characters. A couple smaller strands off of each one to show that it's not just like one giant piece of hair growing out of her scalp, if that makes sense. Added a couple things off the top because I don't know about you guys, but my hair tends to stick up in places. I added a neck so that she wouldn't just be a floating head. I tend to draw necks a little bit thinner. As you can probably see here, I also gave her some shoulders and a collar to show that she is wearing clothes. Couple more adjustments to the hair. Actually, there's going to be a lot of adjustments to the hair. Ignore what I just said. Like this, adding some lines to give the, I don't want to say illusion, to give the indication that there are more strands of hair than what I drew. Because this is a sketch. I don't have time for super realism today. It's a school day. I have college classes. So just go in and add a couple strands. Not too many strands, because then it'll look like you're going for realism, but you didn't go all the way. And then it ends up in this uncanny area where you're not quite sure what art style this is going to be. Even though this is not one of my watercolor paintings, I still wanted to add some shading, which I will do after I did the pupils. When I do the pupils, I tend to just draw like a darker line at the top, so I don't have to put too much effort into making the pupils symmetrical, but also to show that the top of the eyeball is actually in shadow from the eyelid and the eyelashes. So this is just a really simple, easy way to show that and use an anime stylization in my art. I'm sorry my voice sounds so raspy. I'm just getting over having the cold. A cold. So I'm going in and drawing some quick white lines. Don't worry, we're going to be smudging them with our fingers because I don't have time for those little paper things. So just add some of those little lines underneath the hair, on the eyelids, anywhere that there would be shadows. I added some in the hair, which I wasn't sure if was my best idea, but you live and learn. Add some underneath the chin because your neck is in shadow down there. The back of the hair, which is casting a shadow on itself, like the layers make it darker under your hair, if that makes sense. As promised, we're going to put our pencil down and start rubbing the white lines to turn them into shadows. If this were watercolor, I would use another layer of the same color or a darker, somewhat complementary color to create shadows, because we don't shade with black. That just looks weird unless the object is like really dark gray. So just keep adding shading to your piece. I added some light smudges on her cheeks to try to show that she has cheekbones. I'm not sure if that came across as her cheekbones and more of like blush, but I gave it my best shot. If you hear somebody yelling at a dog in the background, it's probably my brother. And there you go, a cute, quick anime girl sketch in my style. If you like this video and you want to see more tutorials on how I draw things, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can show you guys how to do an actual watercolor painting, or how to sketch out one of my landscape paintings that are my specialty. People are not my specialty, landscapes are. So I would really like to show you guys how to do that, and I will when I have time to film a full-length video like this. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this and it helped you if you're maybe a beginner and you're starting to learn how to draw faces. Thanks for watching!